For most of my life, I've always been a very goal-oriented person. I've always had a long list of things that I wanted to do, and I kept those things in mind pretty much at all times. It wasn't until recently, though, that I realized that I was not setting goals in the correct way for myself. And I say for myself because I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all to this. But throughout my life, I've been setting goals in a way that didn't maximize my production and oftentimes didn't result in those goals being met. So today we're going to talk about the new ways that I'm setting my goals for myself, for my life, for my business, and the methods that have helped me stay focused on the goal, but more importantly, stay focused on the action that's going to help me hit that goal. So I've always been like most people in the sense that at the beginning of the year, I'll write down a long list of things that I want to accomplish by year's end. And once again, like I said earlier, I found that I was never really hitting those goals. I'd go back at the beginning of the next year, recap the list, and maybe I'd get like 50% of the things done. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but never hit most of those goals. And the thing is, they were always on my mind for the most part. But once I started doing some research on other ways to set goals, I realized that I was not doing this in the best way possible. And the results were a clear testament to that. When you set goals in a way that I was, and in the way that I feel most people, like 99% of people do, it's really hard to remember. One, it's hard to remember everything that you wanted to do, because if you're setting goals for an entire year and you're not selling yourself short, you've probably got a pretty decent list of things that you want to do. That being said, when you have a 365-day time frame to do those things, so many different things can go wrong. And while it sounds like it's great to have that much time, it's actually quite the opposite, because you start to tell yourself this lie that you have time. And when you think you have time, you lose your sense of urgency. And when you lose your sense of urgency, you just don't get things done in the way that you do when you tell yourself that you need to get it done and you put yourself on a timeline. We're far more capable than we think we are. When we put ourselves on a 365-day timeline for our goals, we're really selling ourselves short, because a lot of these things we could probably accomplish in far, far less time and then move on to the next thing, and oftentimes a bigger thing. So once again, started doing some research on better ways to set goals, and I found a couple ways that have helped me to this point, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The first thing I discovered that really changed the way that I think about setting goals is The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. This book right here will really, really make you challenge yourself. And the reason for that is it tells you to condense your 12-month goals into a 12-week period, aka take those goals that you would have given yourself 365 days or one whole year to accomplish, and do it in 12 weeks. And the reason that this is effective is because, once again, you're putting yourself on a really tight timeline. When you only have 12 weeks to accomplish something, every waking second you're going to spend trying to accomplish that thing. I'm not going to spoil the book for you, because I definitely think you should go read it, but you'll find many cases in this book and in real life of people who have applied the principles discussed in the 12-week year and blown their goals out of the water. One of the best things about the 12-week year as well is that it cuts the year into a 12-week period instead of a 52-week period. So you now have 4 opportunities every single year to reevaluate, set new goals, and most importantly, hit those goals. Wouldn't it be nice to have vacation 4 times a year instead of maybe just once or twice? That's another thing that's discussed in the 12-week year. That's that at the end of each 12-week period, they encourage you to go on a vacation if you hit 70 to 80% of your goals. When you're putting in work the way that you will be, if you put yourself on this 12-week time frame, you're going to need a little bit of rest and relaxation. You're going to need to hit that reset button so in the next 12-week period, you can fully apply yourself once again. After all, if you multiply 12 times 4, that is only 48 weeks. So what are you going to do with those extra 4 weeks of the year? You're going to use it to do what you want. You're going to use it to live your life, hit the reset button, enjoy time with your family, go do the things that you want to do. And you're going to be able to afford to do those things because you use the 12-week year to set your goals. There's many reasons why the 12-week year is an effective way to set and hit your goals. Go check out the book. I promise by the time you're finished, or honestly even before you're finished, you will be encouraged to set your goals using the 12-week year method. I also like how Dave Ramsey does things, and we'll spend a lot less time talking about this because it's pretty easy to discuss. But Dave Ramsey cuts things up into 7 categories, and I think that you should do the same and set small goals within those categories, because when you narrow it down to 7 things that are super important in your life, it's easy to remember, and therefore it's easier to actually hit the goals. And the 7 categories are spiritual, financial, career, intellectual, social, family, and of course fitness. If you're trying to set goals for the next half of this year, or maybe for the next 12 weeks, if you're using the 12-week year method, I would definitely encourage you to try to do these 2 things. If this is something similar to what you do or exactly what you do, let me know in the comments below. Drop a like if you think these are good suggestions. Please remember to subscribe to the channel as well. Y'all support means the world to me. I appreciate it. This is actually day 51 of 100 videos. So we've made a video every day of the week for 10 weeks now, which is pretty cool. We still obviously have a long way to go, but once again, I appreciate the support. Setting goals is super important, especially as an entrepreneur. Apply these things. Go be successful. Go surprise yourself. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.